Libra, welcome to your bonus in-depth reading. That is Celtic Cross. I hope you're well. I hope you are fabulous. Like always with Celtic Cross reading, as with any tarot reading, take what resonates, leave what does not. And if a second energy pops up on your board today, then you reverse those energies as you see fit. What's up? Show me. Libra. What's going on? First card down, the Magician, crossing, Ace of Cups, crowning, Knight of Wands, Pass, the Star. Oh my. You got some vavoom there. Seven of Pentacles on the exit. Oh yeah. Before your Knight of Swords. Oh, okay. Well, you got my attention now. Strengths, Page of Swords. Is it? Environment, the Chariot. Hopes and fears, the Sun. Outcome is the Emperor. Yeah. Yeah, I was poking you a little bit, but you're gonna be okay. Yeah. I like this. I do. You got some nerve there, my friend. You got some energetic nerve. You got some spiritual nerve. You got some sexual nerve. Yes, that's here, but that won't be the emphasis. We got some emotional nerve too. And at the seat of the throne, here's the Emperor, who is very much aware of his presence. Excellent. The Magician. I'm manifesting. Oh. Are you? Are you manifesting, Libra? Yes, I am. What you manifesting? Love, I think. He's saying it's a bit of a challenge. Yeah, it usually is. So fair play. That's fair. That's completely fair. A lot of people have a hard time manifesting love. Yeah, that's because whomever shares that frequency with you, that's the caveat. They have to share the frequency with you. If you manifest someone and their feelings specifically, good luck. It's usually not how it works. If they share the frequency with you, great. You both know, you both line up to love, fantastic. So that's why most tarot readers, well, the good ones, they'll tell you, try not to manifest someone specifically. If you're saying you're open to love, then just be open to love. That way you can get the right one. Okay? So yeah, it can be a bit tricky. The old love cup there. Knight of Wands at your crown. Oh, you got the energy to back it up. You're alive. You're alive, honey. You got that burst of energy surrounding you. Love it. Passionate. Fiery. You're all fired up. Past is the Star. Oh, yeah. So that's not too far back then. The vision. The desire. The dream. We're hyper aware of it in the past, and it's with us in present day. Seven of Pentacles on the exit. Okay. Taking it easy. Having a chill ride. And remaining in neutral. Not challenging ourselves to go in either direction, neither here nor there, just stagnant. And it is stagnant, not necessarily negative, but non-changing in this context. A non-changing path, a non-changing environment. Like I said, it's neither here nor there. It's neither too challenging, in other words, pushing you to exceed the Seven of Pentacles, and it's not under-challenging to where it's non-profitable or there's no growth. Okay, so again, Seven of Pentacles is what you might call the easy ride. Okay, no change, no challenge. No challenge to change. Looks like we're coming out of that. I'm very, very good. A little bored, a little stagnant. I don't know. Shaking it off, Knight of Swords. And then, again, you have some swift movement attached to. I can see that when you want to move fast and accelerate fast, you will. Okay. Knights of Swords, there it is. Busyness, action, movement. And then also communication. Sword is communication as well as action. The Page of Swords here is your strength. You're saying, I like to grow into my knowledge. Fair. That's fair. Yeah, it can be a strength. With strength, there are weaknesses. With pros, there are cons, one and the same. So when I say your strengths, I can just as easily see your weaknesses. And by that I mean perhaps some of you get stuck on observation, watching, waiting too long. Seven Pentacles on the exit. That's how I'm seeing the kind of weakness component today. Okay? We get a little too comfortable observing and or watching and not actually taking action. But in its strength form, it can suggest the starting point to knowledge prior to taking action. So for you, it's actually showing up in both. Okay? So here is the play into our strengths and the play into the weaknesses, and they're in the appropriate positions. Yeah. In-depth readers. This is what in-depth looks like, yeah. So for those of you who are perhaps not very familiar with tarot boards, layouts, and their purpose, and there is such a thing as tarot time and tarot math, and it all kind of adds into it. But here, you had a great layout for strengths and weaknesses, so I just wanted to go ahead and point those out. Chariot, once more, matching that sense of movement. When you want to move, when you have enough knowledge, when you grow into it enough and you're comfortable enough, you'll make a move. And then boom, 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 boom. And when you don't feel like changing, you just want to observe, you'll stay in neutral. Okay? All right, so the Chariot there and your environment. Yeah, movement. There it is again. Hopes and fears, the sun. Yeah, well, okay. You know, the sun's kind of a big deal, but we hope to be happy. We're afraid we won't be. Will I meet my standards and definitions for happiness? I'm afraid I won't. Okay, we'll call that fair. That's fair. This is a big deal to you. But you're being cool hand Luke right there in the outcomes. Like, I got it. I'm fine. Standing in my power. I'm good. I know what I'm doing. Mostly. Right? The Magician. All right. The Magician. The Chariot, the Hanged Man, and the King of Swords. Oh, you're so close to having finalized your decision making. Oh, you are looking at something critically, my friend. Look at you. There's that Chariot in your environment, thrusting ourselves forward soon enough. The Hanged Man, King of Swords. Oh, yeah. That thought is nearly complete. You have given this a lot of contemplation. So again, I'm seeing your strengths here play out. Okay? I give something a lot of thought, observation, before I know absolutely what the heck I'm doing. But yeah, that also means that to some extent you've been a conscientious manifester. In other words, you're aware, which is good. Okay, you're about to thrust forward, honey, into your manifestation. It's like the calm before the storm. All right, let's take a look at that Ace of Cups. Oh my. Where is all that headed? Showing me lots of masculine energy today, and I don't mean that as a negative, but kind of like perhaps a slow boiling masculine. It might take you a minute to observe, learn what you need to learn before you get there, but once you do, you act. Okay. You don't have to be. I'm not saying you have to be a man. You're just kind of showing me those concepts today. Ace of Cups crossing. Queen of Swords. You're very swordy today. You might be a double, triple, quad air or more. Okay, Queen of Swords, Judgment, King of Pentacles. My. Yeah, it's a call. It's a call to love. You've been trying to tune into it for a while. Make sure the timing is right. Are you saying things correctly? Are you observing things correctly? Is your mind made up? Is your focus on point? Are you determined? Yes or no? Man, you really don't want to do something until you know of its correctness from your point of view. Your point of view in terms of correctness. Timing is what I'm observing correct, what I'm experiencing correct, what I'm feeling correct. Yeah, it's taken you a while to get here, but now that you're here, it's like, welcome. There was lots of checkpoints for you where you were observing what you were observing, and you could have stopped at any time, but you chose not to, and that was your biggest indicator for you to proceed. Am I right? Yeah, going from a Page of Swords to a Knight to any of the Kings or Queens would suggest you had lots of checkpoints for your knowledge development. And actually, the more you learned, the more it stayed with you that this direction, this manifestation of love was correct for you. Okay, so but yeah, you had lots of checkpoints. You could have checked out at any time. Said no. You know, you could have gotten off on the exit without having to pay the toll, but you've had several toll checks and you kept going. You liked what you saw. So you keep building into it spiritually, mentally. You head in a particular direction. You feel it more now than ever before. And so far, I'm seeing an open-ended concept to love, not necessarily tied to an individual person, at least not yet. Good. You kept it open. The one that's correct for me. Knight of Wands is at your crown. I want the love to be correct for me. I've put a lot of thought into this. I grew into it. I only want to summon forth what's mine. Very good. Knight of Wands, Nine of Swords, Six of Pentacles, Three Cups. And there it is. Moving the energy forward in a realistic way to actual connectivity. That, yeah, you know, making it happen. You're excited. It is kind of exciting, isn't it? It's kind of thrilling. Okay, it wakes you up a little bit more, turns you on a little bit more. And then Three of Cups, Six of Pentacles, that is realistic connectivity. But Nine of Swords, does it stress you out a little bit? Yeah. Making it happen? Yeah. Yeah, but it's a good stress to have. Okay, it is. There's always going to be worries and fearsome prospects. Okay, but for the most part, you are genuinely excited to connecting. Many of you already started the process. But being open to it all, that's the main point here. Allowing yourself that space, allowing yourself that line, okay? Allowing yourself that movement, building into it, understanding what's right for you, knowing what you were asking for. Okay. The correct love at the correct time. Yeah, I have to tell you, I think many of you already started connecting and it feels good. Sometimes it can be stressful, I know. True. But for the most part, you're enjoying the experience. Okay? The stars in the past. Okay. The Emperor, the Hierophant, all the Lovers. Oh my. Gosh, at some point in the past, there was a very strong connection here that influenced you. Still does. The Emperor. You might have some very strong Aries and or Taurus, Gemini in your chart. To be well, actually, no. Let's take a look at that. Let's recap that real quick. If we're looking at some sign confirmations, we have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Aquarius. As a vision of divine connectivity that influenced you greatly in the past. It's almost like you're saying, yeah, if that existed, I'd commit to that. Was it such a strong influence for you in the past? It still is. It still is. Wow. Don't get me wrong, this Knight of Wands, Three of Cups, Six of Pentacles can't really compete with something like the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers, and the Star. This is nice. It's cute. It's fun. It's preoccupying. And I'm glad that you're putting yourself out there and you're trying to connect to your manifestation. Good job. You're getting the experience and reconnecting in that way. Good job. That was the whole point. That was the whole purpose. But I got to tell you, that past energy you experienced influenced you in ways that seem to be quite direct. I think that's what you're looking for, honey, to be honest with you. Once you get a taste of something like that, gosh. I think that's where you want your new standard to be. Your sort of spiritual standard and your emotional standard. And wow. I think some of you know what it's like, just FYI, to have commitments, yes. I think many of you know what it's like to have a lover. I think many of you want to know what it's like to have the best of both worlds. A strong connection that is also committed. that would be ideal from your point of view. That's your desire. To have the commitment plus the strong connection, one that you can stand by both. I think you want to blend those concepts very much. So I'm glad you're putting yourself out there. That's what I would encourage you to do. Once I saw that your manifestation was open-ended to love. Okay? Good. This is what I would advise you to do. Taking the necessary steps to put yourself out there and see if your frequency is catching with anybody. And you are. And there's a stress element here. Okay? It's not always obvious and it's not very smooth, but still it's happening. Good for you. 7 of Pentacles on the exit. I think we already touched on that. That kind of space of riding in neutral. Okay. Neither here nor there. Not too challenging, but also no changes. We've put that aside. I'm not saying that you've completely disregarded your 3D path. No, that's still with you. It's just now we want to move into a space of action once more. Okay? And connectivity. All right. We'll use this deck one more time before we switch over. Knight of Swords. What's going on? Show me that Knight of Swords, please, in the future. That is some very strong idealism, my friend, but in some way you were blessed with the knowledge of it. Otherwise, I couldn't see you possessing that knowledge or the feeling or the desire in this context specifically. So I have to maintain, I read what's here, not what isn't. The fact that you're showing me this in the past suggests you're familiar with both these ideas of a commitment that we stand next to at all costs and a lovers that we strongly feel and impacts us. You're saying ideally you'd like to merge the two. Okay? All right. Knight of Swords. Knight of Cups. The 4 of Cups. 6 of Wands. I see you persist. It's not always fun. No, you're right. It's not always fun. I understand. It's not always fun, and it's fair. That's completely fair. Like I said, I give you full credit for taking the actions, for making the strides. Okay? A lot of people have been blessed with manifestations or dreams or visions, and they just sit on their ass. Because it takes real work to actually apply it. I don't know why or how people got used to thinking manifestation is like Amazon. You place your order and it arrives to you without you doing nothing. That's just not how this works. You know, you want the universe to take you seriously, you got to take yourself seriously. So you're doing the right things. I see you putting yourself out there. You are communicating your availability. Knights of Cups, 4 of Cups, 6 of Wands, and it feels good. It feels good, but it doesn't have the right flavor. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're looking for. We all know what you're looking for. I already talked about it. I know what you're looking for. The point is, you're trying new restaurants instead of going to the same one, because you'll get the same results. God, my chair's squeaky. You're trying new places, trying out new flavors, cuisines, and to some extent experiencing new cultures as you experience new people and personalities. So you're doing all the right things. I'm glad that many of you figured out my time of observation's over. If I want change, I need to be willing to challenge myself a little more. This is it. I'm keeping my manifestation open to love, full stop. I take full ownership of this. My influence of the past is such that I've experienced commitment and I've experienced a strong lover. I want both. I want to merge both worlds. But that means I have to be willing to put myself out there. You're doing exactly what I would have gotten up ass about if you hadn't done it yourself. So you're actually doing it. Thank you. Good job. I'm glad you're taking those steps. And no, it's not always fun. You showed me 9 of Swords and the 4 of Cups. You're like, for the most part, it's fun, but it's not great. It's not what I'm looking for. I know what you're looking for. Okay? I know what you're looking for. And right now, you're getting standard results for people who are doing what they do, putting themselves out there. You try, you express yourself, you mix and mingle, but if it's not for you, you continue on. Okay? That's the whole point of dating or putting yourself out there, is to try. It's not an absolute. Okay? So good job. You keep on keeping on. I see you continuing to connect in ways that often feel good, but ultimately aren't what you're looking for. Good. I'm glad you're being selective. That means you're in tune with your frequency. You're in tune with your manifestation. And you are in tune with that huge impact you had in the past of both, I believe, commitment and strong connectivity, and you want them both. Okay? You want them merged into one connection. So you're doing all the right things, honey. Continue to keep yourself open and try. Available to the right ones and not available to the wrong ones. That's it. That's all any of us can do. You're being selective. Good. Don't force anything to come together. If it doesn't feel right, then it probably isn't. All right? Page of Swords and the Strengths, which we've talked about. There's that star. The Hierophant. As I say, if you showed me one more matching, I was going to laugh really hard. By the way, this is one of the benefits to using multiple decks. With in-depths, reasonably you should. Otherwise, you'll just whittle yourself down to the original deck, and the cards there are what's going to be last card standing. So obviously, we want to switch up decks when we do big reads. But yeah, so this is one of the benefits. You can see consistency in energies. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. You will commit to your heart's desire. And then there you are. Right? And King of Wands. Now, I know you're not a fire sign, but what you're showing me is the intensity around your vision. You won't settle for anything less. You're saying, this is what turns me on. This is what lights me up. And it's like, I won't settle. You really won't settle. You know what it is that you want to see for yourself, spiritually and emotionally. You will commit to the vision, which we've already discussed. Okay? The merging of these ideas. Commitment, strong connectivity, and something that makes you feel empowered. Like you are indeed reaching for the stars. If some of you, if you know what it is, then how can I equate this? And I'm not confirming or denying what it is that you've experienced. You're concluded what's right for you. It's almost like you're saying, I've had lightning in the bottle once, or struck by lightning once. I'm looking for a second time. Everything else, it's nice. But if I connect to it or somebody and it has a take it or feel leave, then that's exactly what it is. I'll leave. I will not do anything that constitutes less than. You've been very clear about it. You really did grow into this, and now you're prepared to act on it. All right. So now, guys, it's Celtic Cross. This is Celtic Cross. I know you had a lot of time on your path that was very consistent, steady, but perhaps non-changing, to contemplate your manifestation. So, just to be clear, Celtic Cross does not equal love readings. It's whatever the hell shows up. So Gemini had some very strong notes of career, mixed with personal stuff. Okay, but it kind of really was a strong showcase on the diversity of Celtic Cross. Okay, so no, I don't go out of my way to turn them into love readings. It's just typically what's the most pressing point in a collective energy is what gets expressed. Okay, but no. Celtic Cross is meant to be neutral. Whatever shows up is whatever the hell shows up. And you've shown me some really damn good markers of knowing thyself. And that's all I want for people is know thyself. So, honey, my point is, if you want to shoot for the stars like this, and that is shooting for the stars, and you don't want to settle for anything less, and you know that, and you're not pressed about being lonely or afraid that you might have to walk this path for a while, which you didn't show me any markers of, the stress, then you go on then. You want it all, go for all. It's not everybody's choice. A lot of people want to settle real fast, but not you. Not you. I only see you pick up speed when it comes to enacting on your vision. Okay? But no. I'm glad to see that you're not running around desperate, saying yes to whatever the hell. You're just trying. You're trying connections out, and they either speak to you or they don't. That's it. Okay? But I know what you're looking for. You know what you're looking for. And while it might seem like the impossible task to others, those are the same others who would settle. Not you. You don't want to. Okay. All right. 2 of Cups, 9 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles. Yeah. Well, there are going to be conditions. Someone here, while you continue to move forward here with the Chariot, I think I've seen that for you. Oh, there it is, a Chariot in your opening, right there when you're on the precipice of starting to make inroads on your your manifestation. You have a couple caveats, one of them being no friendship relationships. I know what you mean. So yes, by all means, have all the friends you want. Love friends. Gotta have friends. I got lots of them too. The thing is, I know they're friends. Friends are friends. They're not a confused label. It's friendship. Okay? And you can have some very strong friendships. Like I said, I believe in a couple check-ins. I've had some friends I've known for decades. They know shit about me that many may never. And that's the way it should be. But I know they're friends. That's it. And you do too. You're saying, I don't want any relationships, environmental relationships, that I move forward to be friendly. And it seems like one presses on you in some way as a friend that would like to invite itself into your life as a friend. And you said, no, that's not what I'm moving towards. I'm not saying be mean to this person. I'm just saying they want some sort of emotional reciprocity with you, a sense of emotional security with you, but as a friend. And you said no. So I see that this one occasionally presses into your environment. Who or what they are to you? You said no. You said no. You're not committing to them. They don't represent your star or vision. They're a little too, again, on the friend side. And that's something that needs to be accepted. You're not going to explore it further. Okay. But yeah, that bothers me a little bit because it's showing up in your environment. So this is someone who has access to your life in some way, and they are rejecting the role of friend, or they want to keep it as friends, but with some sort of emotional exchange. And you said no. Okay. So it could be someone who wants a benefits plus package. We're friends, but I'm a little bit more of. You know, someone wants the emotional inclusion, but without the actual work of relationship. And I see you moving above and beyond that. Now, the fact that they feel free to be in your environment and kind of push that energy on you and you resist it suggests that they're there and they do it often enough or they've made their interest known. It does not in any way seem to match your frequency. But you would already know that. Okay? I don't see you dismiss them outright as an end or walk away. In fact, you're kind of showing me it's a bit of an annoyance, like swatting a fly. Yeah, I know who they are, and I know they want more. But no. Either we're friends and they need to accept it, or they want to be friends that get a little bit more extra from me, and that's not going to happen. And you're right. That's a great way to spill out and waste your energy. We don't want that. Okay, so just FYI, they showed me that. But I suppose you would already know. Okay. The sun, hopes and fears. Will I be happy? And again, hopes and fears. It's not an outcome. It's just hopes and fears. You want to be happy. And I can see why the sun, which is rather sizable, I had to admit, in your hopes and fears. But given your sizable dreams, that actually makes sense. So when just to keep in mind, you might have heard me say this before. When we raise the stakes, okay, and you clearly did that for yourself, you raised the hopes and fears too. So that actually makes a lot of sense now. You're committed to this dream, though. You are. You want commitment and you want a strong connection. You won't settle for anything less. That'll make the weeding out process very easy, though. It will. I understand. The sun, hopes and fears. Just please realize you might be at this for a while. The 6 of Wands. But I think you know that, right? You know that, right? All right, 6 of Wands, the Hanged Man, and the 3 of Swords. But you're terrified of being heartbroken. I know, and you've had a lot of time to think about that as well with the Hanged Man there. And that's why you showed me a conscious choice around your manifestation. Again, once more, bravo for you having nailed that. You were absolutely correct, especially when we involve other people's feelings. Nailed it. Yeah. Keeping that manifestation open-ended for the right person. All you can do is hold yourself accountable for your dreams, desires, or visions. Okay? But keep yourself open to the right cup, to someone who shares a similar frequency. But I can see why you hung back as long as you did. Like I said, you were in a space of observation, looking, learning, insight before you did anything or said anything or started making any movements. And here's why. You were afraid of being hurt. You know? You're saying you know what it's like to be confident, and you know what it's like to have your ego played into with the 6 of Wands there in the sun. And as perhaps some of you had to learn the hard way that something makes you happy might be feeding into your ego or flattering you, not necessarily that it was a good situation. Yeah, so attraction does not equal happiness. It's very easy to project attraction and confidence and ego and things like that, that doesn't mean it's happy, right? You know, I was connected to someone once who the only thing they seemed to have to offer was compliments. Anything real or substantial. So that kind of informed me sooner rather than later about where they were at or where they weren't. That's literally all they had to draw from. So some people can make whole world's meals, relationships out of attraction and compliments. But it starts to feel, after a while, like it doesn't amount to anything more than that. It stops being so fun. So you know what it's like to have your heart broken for having your sense of happiness or sun or confidence played into. You know? You don't want that to happen again. No more ego-based or flattery-based relationships or connections. Okay? Have I told you that you're beautiful? You and a couple hundred other folks. Heard that one before. What else you got? I'm not saying that compliments aren't any good. I'm saying at some point it has to move beyond that into something substantial. Stop talking to me about my looks and perhaps start talking to me about what it is that I do, that you like, personality, my work, something. You got anything else to work with? Or are you just like, that's it? You're the one-hit wonder of the 80s, right? You had that one song that everybody loved. And that's all you had to say? See what I'm saying? Flattery can get you so far for so long before it just becomes mundane, boring, flat. And honestly, 6 of Wands, this is how easy, I wish people understood this. This is how easily this is replicated. If someone has that much to say about you in terms of attraction and confidence and ego, how easily are they giving that out to someone else? Because it costs you nothing. It costs absolutely nothing. You know what costs something? A Knight of Cups. Emotional expression. Vulnerability. Opening up. That costs something. That is an emotional investment. This surface, but it played into your sun, as you last recall. Okay? Perhaps then we've learned we gave too much insight or too much consideration for someone. That's all they had to say. That's all they had to talk about. But perhaps it felt good and it still caused heartbreak, yeah? So please be aware of that. And I don't just mean to women. I mean, the same thing happens to men. You know, it's like that's all she would talk about is how much money I made. Or, she was very complimentary about my physique because I go to the gym 5 or 6 days a week, but there was nothing else to talk about. It works both ways. And I hear this all the time. Well, it's not just men. I didn't say it was just men. It's not just women. I didn't say it was just women. It's human beings. A 50% chance you're going to piss somebody off. I mean, it's high, you know? So don't do to others what you don't want done to you. You'll be okay. And don't stick around a people who show you who they are and it's not appealing to you. Why would you put yourself through that? Move on. The Emperor. Eight of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles. And the 9 of Cups. Yeah, you keep working at it. I like this. Yeah, no immediate results after all this. No, I wasn't expecting you to have immediate results if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Why? Everything I said today, that's why. There's nothing about what you're doing that isn't bold and inspiring and amazing, but also is not going to produce immediate results. I'm not looking at the Instapot of manifestations for Libra today. There is nothing that you are asking for from the universe that's going to generate immediate results. Okay, this is for you. This is really for you. You're doing all this for you. No one's making you do it. No one's putting you through it. You chose this. You chose a highly aspiring and inspiring goal and desire to have commitment and a very strong connection. You're putting yourself out there. You're doing due diligence. But until your requirements are satisfied, you hold the work out. You understand me? And I'm not telling you what to do. If you want to connect and fool around and have fun and spend some of that energy, then you do that. Just don't commit to it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But 8 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. There's the Emperor standing by his or her word. I'm hanging in there. I'm going to continue to put work into this because I believe in me. I believe what I want is out there. I believe you can have a strong connection and the commitment of your dreams. I think it's possible. So I will do what I need to do. I will keep my manifestation open, and I will reject who I need to reject. And I've learned what I needed to learn. Heartbreak, yeah. There's no guarantees. There are no guarantees. But I know one surefire method to decrease it, and that is to not allow anyone to play into my sense of ego or flattery or whatever, because that's not happiness. Okay? It's not happiness. So you keep at it. You keep at it. Oh, we're not even 40 minutes. No way. That environment, I'm not saying it as an obsessive person. I'm really not. You would know them best. But they seem to be on the peripheral of your environment in some way. And they say, but we're friends, but just give me a little bit more emotional something than you would an average friend. And you have to deflect it and say no or block it. But you haven't completely worlded it or ended it either. It's interesting. They would still ask for a little bit more friendship plus from you. And you would say, no, that's not how I'm trying to live my life. No more benefits for you. No more emotional extras. It's like, here, can I have the scraps of your love? Can I have the scraps of your feeling? But we're still friends. But can I don't, that bothers me that I see that in your environment. I'm surprised your chariot continues to move forward regardless of that person being there or not, which is good. But it's kind of like, oh, the nerve. Where did that come? Do they not see what you're trying to achieve? You know, you're just looking for the next biggest imprint of your life and continue to do what you do in a form of self-respect and wish fulfillment, holding out for the best of the best of the best, sir, ma'am. I just wanted to press on that a little more because it bothered me to see that there, given who you are, spiritually and otherwise. 5 of Cups, Page of Pentacles. Someone who feels left out. I want more. I can't invest in more, but I want more. See, now you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways, boo-boo. I would like more. I missed out. I can't invest in more, but I'd like to get more from you. Please understand that. Please give me some more. It's like Oliver Twist, but the one you don't feel bad for. Please, can I have some more? Well, Oliver Twist I have sympathy for. He's an orphan. This person, not so much. It's like a missed opportunity to develop more with you. And because they can't, or they're no longer welcome to get more with you, or do things over, or they made the wrong choice in the past a long time ago, and they kind of regret that. Reverse buyer's remorse. I wish I had invested in it. They just want to know if they can get some scraps from you, emotional scraps from you, a good word, a good thought, a good feeling. That's unfortunate. Oh, yes. Okay, this is how you know what a strong connection is. At some point, you two were deeply connected, it seems, by love. And since you two have an environment, that means you used to be able to move towards them in some way or connect to them in some way. Yeah. So this is how you knew in the past what the strong connection was, is because of this person whom you have an environment with, but they still call you friend to this day. They just kind of want scraps to kind of prove that you're a little bit more than a friend. Come on. We missed out the last time. Rather, somebody failed to choose the last time. Lovers always represents choice. So someone here failed to choose on the emotional investment correctly. It's kind of like if I could go back and do over, I would. Like I said, it's reverse buyer's remorse here. Wish I had chosen that Libra to invest in them. Things might have been very different in my life. Well, okay, so in some way you know who this person is, because you know what a strong connection is. At some point you were deeply drawn to this person. Deeply. Spiritually, emotionally, and sexually. And how it plays out in reality because of choices. Oh, well. They're a friend, but they don't get extra benefits. There's somebody I know or somebody I used to know. We share an environment. Perhaps your circles in some way still overlap. But yeah, no. At some point, you felt deeply towards them and tried to move towards them, but that shook out the way. I was wondering why it was just so there. Yeah. And that also tells me then, to some extent, you also already understand what your previous commitments were. That means you understand the point of commitment, the relevancy of it, and how it impacts your life and how you believe in commitment. And then you also believe in strong connections. I told you have an influence of both. So you're going forth into the world looking for a commitment because you believe in it. That's part of your core belief. You won't settle and you won't stay with something that you don't feel properly connected to. And then also you want the strong connection as well. Okay? But not with the one that you had to learn the hard things with. But in the general sense. Like I said, you're keeping your manifestation open-ended, which is correct. But I also see you holding out for your vision because you understand it's correct for you. But that also will take some time. So you continue to build into that because you build into yourself. It's a form of respect and empowerment. Don't rush the process. Don't settle. You're showing me selectivity for the right reasons. But yeah, I can see that the environment there is a floating energy influence of a strong connection that didn't understand perhaps that it was a strong connection in the past. It has such a deep regret when it comes to you. Wish I had made other choices or chose you or invested in you. I know. Well, that's another reading for another day. The shoulda, coulda, wouldas are strong there. Especially, I think, since they see how you flourish and you accomplish your goals. And you're a bit strong-willed, I see that, but that's not a bad thing. Not in this context, no. I'm not saying you're perfect, not at all. I know you're not perfect because of your hopes and fears. At some point, whoever the strong lover was, you thought happiness arrived in the form of their flattery, which was constant but never changed its tune, right? Okay. It was a choice to not put that energy correctly. Create a new identity. Embrace change and rediscover yourself, crafting a narrative aligned with your true essence. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love how you grew into it, too, based on observation. Observation, indeed. So you did show me Page of Swords and the strengths today. Well done. Typically, that little guy doesn't have too much room to shine. High is good. Embrace the journey with openness, trusting the universe to lead you toward the greater fulfillment, and that's exactly what you're doing. You are kind of, redesigning yourself. Like I said, you're creating your new sculpture of you, sticking to it, but also understanding of your highest good. Okay? I love it. Okay. In summer, okay? For some of you, you began this process in earnest last summer. Upcoming summer might be important. But I see many of you, this was a starting point for you over the summer in terms of opening up and connecting. And then I do believe it might accelerate a little further here in November. Very good. Excellent. Keeping true to your goals, though. That's the outcome for now. You work hard, you stand by what you believe in, but yeah, it was time for you to get off that path, which I'm sure was safe and calm, had no bumps in it. So you're saying if there are any bumps in the road, it's because of the ones you want. 42, Netcaster, preparation, come to fruition. Oh, lots of preparation, no doubt. A tidy house, 1, clarity and organization. I am right there with you. Yeah, some of you just kind of got your overall here, that sense of your house in order, your world in order, everything just kind of nice and neat and squared away, and you knew it was steady, that nothing was interrupting it, but nothing was changing either, and you had grown into some new insights about manifestation and who you are and what it is you would like to see for yourself in the future, and that you're not going to rush the process, but you do hold yourself responsible for participating. Well done. But yeah, tidy house, clarity, organization. Yeah, I'm the same way. I can't do anything until I have everything organized. And then it's like, okay, now I'm free to do other things or new things. All right. Okay, we have G, Z, F, D. We have the medallion of Virgo. Some of you have some very strong Virgo in your chart, could be connected to, or the seasons might be important to you. We had the dog tag in reverse, keyword here being protected, and the overall idea is not protected. My Well, to be honest with you, my only thought around that is the weakest link I saw here today. Going back to that environment, otherwise everything else you're doing here makes perfect sense to me. But that connection, the lover's connection, the one that taught you about lover's connection at all, or where you experienced it for the first time, and you understood that you would like to see that, but a committed version of the lover's connection in future for yourself, okay? Whatever that is does not look protected. Even if you continue to connect with it, it wouldn't be protected. There's something about it that's still very fragile. It can't or won't invest in more or speak for itself or choose for itself, which is a problem. It's the weakest link I saw in here. Otherwise, what you're doing is absolutely fantastic. Okay, Libra honey, I do hope this helped you. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well.